companion planting. It's something that quite a few people have started looking into in this country. Although in America especially, it's been very popular for from about 1920 onwards. There was a big push, especially in the Midwest of America. But a lot of the companion planting that they have evolved comes from when going back centuries when the Native Americans were farming. And we've taken this on a bit, and what we're doing at Communigrow now, we're looking into this to help improve crop protection, and it's given us an opportunity to see the value of companion planting. So why do we choose companion planting? It means that we plant things that are compatible with each other. It's one of the easiest ways to copy what nature does naturally, and it gives us there are noticeable benefits in companion planting. One of them is helping the soil structure, and it's two ways really. It's putting beneficial nutrients back into the soil, but also it means that there are times when in drought or in heavy rain where there could be soil erosion, then different plants and different plant root systems help to consolidate the soil much more easily. In addition to this, in open soil patches where there could be a waste of space, you can put in companion planting. Companion plants don't have to be sown or planted at the same time. They can be taken, planted or sown at various times to help a crop that is already there. So if you've got a crop such as Brussels sprouts, which are in the ground for a long time, they could be in the ground for 9 to 10 months. You could have 2 or 3 different companion plants to plant in with that, not just one. So you get a continuous crop rotation there. In addition to this, low-growing plants can help to restore moisture and nutrients into the soil. Okay. As you can see on the slide, it can boost plant growth, and in some crops it will actually improve the flavour of the crops. Sometimes just one crop, sometimes 2. This is especially true of tomatoes. If you grow basil with tomatoes, then the tomatoes have a better flavour to them, which, if you look at it, is a strange thing, because tomatoes and basil come from totally different parts of the world. Tomatoes originate in Mexico, in South America, and basil originates from the lower slopes of the Himalayas, and they're actually on completely opposite parts of the globe. But if you put them together, then they are very good companion plants together. Okay. The companion planting is not an exact science. There's been no official study scientifically. There have been various studies in America from some of the colleges, but they've never completely gone through the whole structure of why companion planting works. most of the information is passed on from one generation to the next, and quite often it's if you're a gardener or if you have an allotment, then it's normally one allotmenteer will talk to another allotmenteer, and others may suggest to you things that may work, and you could try, and it may not work for you, but it works fine for them. And they may not be too far away. They could be in, say, the next plot if you're in an allotment. My general rule is that if it works for you, then it works for you, and it may not work for other people. Okay. There are influences which cause this, which is it could be the climate, it could be the region, it could be the plant varieties that you use, and water sources. So down in Kent on the southeast, we have very hard water, and in the further north or to the west, we have softer water. The other real difference in companion planting and what works for you and what doesn't is yourself, how you are with plants. Okay. Another good thing for companion planting is the fact that it's a natural pest control. There are two types. There's crop trapping, or the forefeet of plants. So you're actually putting a crop in which you know the pests will attack, and they will almost attack it to killing it. However, what you're actually doing is you're protecting the crops that you want to protect. There are practical and crop-saving benefits as well. You can use companion plants to attract beneficial insects, such as using dill or fennel to attract ladybirds. Cornflowers attract ladybirds and hoverflies, and chamomile attracts soldier beetles. All of these are compatible with most plants, but you have to be careful that you don't put. There are certain plants you cannot put with other plants. Okay. Also, you can use the plants, parts of the plants for teas. So you brew the weed, the leaves or the stems or the roots, and this is good against other pests and diseases. And also, they're nice to look at. I mean, I think if you look back over time, when an allotment, you wouldn't see a single flower in an allotment. It would all just be vegetables, and mainly green vegetables. However, I think that we need to see more flowers, or at least more colour, because they are what the insects will be attracted to those. These are examples of things that you can plant together. So, as I said before, we had tomatoes, which you can plant with basil. We have lettuce is a very good one, because it can be planted with just about everything else. And then you have things like onions. Onions will, if you plant them with carrots, then it can reduce the amount of carrot root fly you have on your carrots. Vice versa, also, if you plant those together, the carrots also will help to inhibit the amount of allium fly, which will attack your leeks. Okay. Let's look up.
Which colour will be?
In addition to improving the flavour of tomatoes, basil will deter things like aphids because of their strong scent. In fact, most of the strong smelling herbs, if you put those anywhere in your garden, that will help to deter most of the flying insects that we have. One of the best of all companion plants are marigolds. They do three things. One, they help to attract predatory insects, especially ladybirds and soldier beetles. Also, what they also do is they attract aphids as well, but they attract the aphids away from your host plants. So if you plant them near brassicas, for instance, they will help to deter whitefly. The other thing that marigolds do is that the roots themselves, as they're growing through the soil, they give out a chemical which helps to limit the amount of nematodes in the soil. So if you have things like wireworm and things like that in your soil, or if you know that you may have it, then planting marigolds is a very, very good idea. Again, things like potatoes, which can suffer from nematode attack. If you put marigolds, I'm not saying in between every row, but if you put them every kind of fourth or fifth row, then that will help to reduce the amount of nematodes you have in your plots. Okay. In nature, there's plants will grow together that are happy together. So if they are compatible, then you will see them growing naturally together. They attract beneficial insects, as I say, and also for pollination as well, to help pollinating. The plants provide other things for each other, such as nutrients, shade, and physical support. If you plant peas into a plot of land, even if you're not actually going to use the peas that are produced, then the roots will help to fix nitrogen into the soil. Companion plants in your home garden is just an imitation of some of this symbiotic relationships. And one of the best known in the wild and in garden is something called the Three Sisters. And this is the growing of sweet corn and beans and squash as three together. I think this was shown on probably Gardener's World a couple of years ago as well. This is where you start off by planting the sweet corn, and once they are about 3 to 4 feet high, then you plant runner beans, and the runner beans will run up the stalks of the sweet corn, and then you grow a squash of some type, and it can be either summer squash or courgette. And what they do, they suppress the weeds that are underneath both the crops, and also it means that the soil stays fairly damp as well. All three plants are very heavy feeders, so you do have to water them all very, very carefully. That's getting close to the end of what I wanted to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
As I said about companion planting, it's what you do with it. Okay, you will find things that you know work, and your neighbour may find that it doesn't work at all. So it's just do what you think works, and quite often you get it right. Okay. Thank you very much.